Mayor of the city, Malik Low, recently represented the Gambia on Africa regional launch of Making Cities Resilience 2030. The aim of the initiative is to enhance the resilience of cities in Africa as well, connecting cities with one another. The CC has more details of that in this report.
The Making Cities Resilient in the African Region by 2030 initiative has been launched by the United Nations Disaster Risk Reduction. This campaign is intended to contribute to achieving the objectives and the 7 global targets of the Sendai Framework for Disaster Risk Reduction 2015 to 2030. Representing the Gambia is the mayor of Banjul, Malik Low, who explained the strategic plans taken by the Banjul City Council against natural disasters.
To avoid infrastructure disasters, Banjul City Council is actively working with the Disaster Management Agency on risk reduction programs such as the demolition of dilapidated buildings in the city. The process is also supported by the Department of Physical Planning and Housing as the government arm responsible in assessing buildings to avoid future disasters.
As disasters are on the increase globally, affecting the lives and livelihoods of vulnerable people in communities in which cities are at higher risk, the mayor of Banjul calls for action as well as to raise awareness on disaster risk reduction.
For action to my entire colleague mayors and governors in Africa to ensure our cities have resilience policies such as city DRR strategies and to invest more in socio-economic development as it is key pillar for progress of our cities.
The COVID-19 pandemic, a global health disaster of global presence, presents its own challenges for the city of Banjul. On top of the pandemic comes the rainy season, which has caused considerable damage in the city and across the country.
This year's rain, coupled with COVID-19, have caused numerous disasters, including death and serious injuries in the city and other parts of the country. The Banjul City Council, through consultation with stakeholders such as the Disaster Management Agency, the central government, and other civil society organizations, have designed a strategy for our people to curb the pandemic and the effect of climate hazards.
The United Nations projects urban areas to be the most vulnerable communities for disasters in the next 30 years, with 2/3 of the world's population expected to be living in urban settlements in 2050. The global body said that a strong policy framework and leadership is needed to make cities resilient to climate shocks. For iAfrica News, I am Daisy.